This is Jeremiah24 Reacts. Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate the likes, the sharing, the commenting down below, down in the comments. Appreciate all y'all for supporting me on the channel and on this journey of my YouTube career. Thank y'all so much for all the support that's being shown constantly on the channel, on the videos, on the shorts, etc., etc., etc. Thank y'all so much. Very grateful. And I'm gonna repay y'all back with the videos. You already know how we do it. So then we're back with Jung Kook, Hate You. Today it's gonna be me obviously continuing the Jung Kook Golden album reaction / reviews. Obviously the title should have the reaction / review, meaning I already heard the track and hey, I'm just reviewing it, breaking down the lyrics and everything, because obviously I'm not going to, how would you say, lie about that, because if I heard the track, I heard the track. And I'm gonna put it up on the title. I'm not gonna say just reaction, but yeah, just continuing this journey of reviewing these tracks because it hasn't been a minute. I'm trying to make sure that I finish all these reviews of this album because there's only a couple more tracks. Finish it off this weekend. Continue more on the R&B side of things with 90s playlists and all that. But hopefully that ends up well. But yeah, appreciate everybody. And hey, we're gonna get into this track. Now, speaking about this track, in my opinion, Hate You from the Golden album from Jung Kook is the best lyrically dense track on the album. I like the lyrical content on this track the most. Unlike the, obviously the other ones, obviously they're good. They're good tracks, the other ones. But lyrically speaking, I feel like this one carries its own type of level of heaviness to it, to a different degree than the others. But doesn't mean that none of the other tracks are that they're bad or anything. The other tracks are pretty good, but this one, lyrically speaking, is at another level, obviously. And yeah, this track really did it for me, to be honest with you. The lyrical density of it, but also the production side of things and everything overall within the track helped out. And I literally picked it out and I was like, nah, this is definitely the best one off the whole record. And that's what made it, for me, the best record in my opinion. But yeah, can't wait to get into this track because this is definitely my favorite off the album. This is my favorite lyrically dense track off the album, and I'm gonna let you guys know which one's my sonically pleasing track that's really good for the good listen ears, like you're feeling good type of vibe. Which one is my favorite? We're gonna break that down during the week, during this whole week. I'm gonna break down the next one, which is the sonically best track, sonically speaking. But let's just get into it now.
I wish you went behind my back and told me lies and stuff like that. I wish you kissed someone I know and did the give up. Maybe hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. So I'm gonna hate you, I'm gonna hate you, paint you like the villain that you never were. I'm gonna blame you for things that you don't do. Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. We weren't perfect, but we came close. Until I put all of our pain under the microscope, and I still can face it. I'm still in love, but it's worth. Maybe
This track is so
the
good.
only way it doesn't hurt. So I'm gonna hate you, I'm gonna hate you, paint you like the villain that you never were. I'm gonna blame you for things that you don't do. Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. Ooh.
goodness. Even this part is so good.
It's not the truth, it's not the cure. But hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt.
That was the track. That was Hating You. Not Hating You. That's how it sounded like in the track. But the track is Hate You from Jung Kook off the album Golden. This is such a good track. Obviously, this is not a track you're gonna put on when obviously you're gonna have a good time, you're gonna party. This is one of those tracks you put on when you're going through an experience like a relationship, a breakup, those type of moments, or just probably like a little down moment in, the relationship. You're just gonna have that experience. When you're having that experience, that time of that moment where things are not going as they're supposed to, that's during the time you're gonna put this on. But most of the time, it's most likely gonna be the time when somebody has a breakup. This track is definitely gonna be there. Definitely, you're gonna have to put this on to feel something. Hear something that you can relate to, that you're gonna be like, wow, I could connect to this because this happened to me already before. So this is one of those tracks, to be honest with you. Let's break down the lyrics though. Verse number 1, he says, I wish you went behind my back and told me lies and stuff like that. I wish you kissed someone I know and did the unforgettable. Maybe hating you is the only way it doesn't hurt. Wow, that's crazy. I wish you went, let's just break that down again. He said, I wish you went behind my back and told me lies and stuff like that. I wish you kissed someone I know and did the unforgettable. Maybe hating you is the only way it doesn't hurt. Obviously, something definitely went wrong in this relationship, because he just wants everything to go wrong here. He wishes her, the significant other, to like go behind his back, do the lies, do the other stuff, the unforgettable stuff, right? But also he's saying right here at the end, maybe hating you is the only way it doesn't hurt. And a lot of times when that happens, when a relationship goes astray and there's a breakup, usually that's how a lot of people go. That's the route that a lot of people go towards. I'm gonna hate that person for a while. I don't like that person anymore. Because how would you say, you went through this whole journey with that same person for a long time, and then eventually it all ends. Eventually, you're like, wow. But especially if it's a heartbreak, a breakup that tore you apart, obviously you're gonna feel this type of way, right? Obviously, in the beginning, it most likely is gonna be like that too. So I bet a lot of people probably related to this, because at the end of the day, obviously, like he's saying right here, painting, maybe hating is the only way, because how would he say, during that time, during that beginning part, especially if it's a terrible heartbreak, you're not going to, how would you say, feel the need to be like, man, I wish that person the best or whatever. Not speaking of me, but some people would probably think that, like, I'm not gonna wish this person the best or whatever, because they probably went through so much that they feel like this is the only route to go, like to say I'm gonna hate that person for a while or whatever. But I think eventually, hopefully, you move on from that route of hating that person, because that's not what you would want. It's like holding a coal in your hand and having the desire of throwing it without actually throwing it. Because I've seen that quote before of like, what is it, like envy and things like that, and malice towards somebody. But yeah, hate is not the best thing, obviously. But obviously, I think eventually when you start healing and things like that, you forgive that person or whatever, especially if it's a heartbreak like that. Not saying all heartbreaks like that, because there's some heartbreaks that are, how would you say, not as terrible as some of these songs make it to seem, because some breakups are just like, hey, we just drew the line, it's time to just move on type of thing, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's like that. But let's keep moving on, man. I went on a stint right there, but let's keep it going. Chorus, so I'm gonna hate you, paint you like the villain that you never were. Wow, that lyric hit right there. Paint you like the villain that you never were. I'm gonna blame you for the things that you don't do. Hating you is the only way it doesn't work. It doesn't hurt. Wow, let's just read that one more time. This might be the best, probably the best lyric in that whole thing right here. This chorus. So I'm gonna hate you. I'm gonna hate you. I'll paint you like the villain that you never were. I'm gonna blame you for the things that you don't do. Hating you is the only way it doesn't hurt. So basically, he's just breaking down right here. I'm just gonna hate you. I'm just gonna hate you because at the end of the day, I'm just gonna paint you as that monster that you never were. But this breakup hurt me so bad that that's the only way. That's the only way I get to move on, is that I blame you and I kind of put you in that spot of the villain, you know, as the monster, as that person that kind of ruined me in a way, right? You know, for the things that you don't do, for the things that you didn't do in that relationship in the past or whatever. And he said, hating you is the only way it doesn't hurt. Hating you is the only way it doesn't hurt at all. It doesn't hurt. Hating you is the only way it doesn't hurt. You see, like, damn, these lyrics just hit. Just that lyric though alone right here. Paint you like the villain that you never were. Paint you like the villain that you never were. Like an art, paint you like the villain. It's good because look, how would you say it? You're painting, right? But you're painting the villain. But painting you like the villain that you never were, that significant other is the villain now. And now you're painting them in your head though, right? As the villain. So that lyric right there alone already, that's why I was saying that lyrically, this one is dense, right? Lyrically, this track. And in verse 2, we were perfect, but we came close until I put all of our pain under the microscope. I still can't face it. I'm still in love, but for what it's worth, maybe hating you is the only way it doesn't hurt. Wow, look at that. We weren't perfect, but we came close until I put all of our pain under the microscope. So basically, he's just saying right here, we weren't perfect, as we all know about relationships. Obviously, no one's perfect. Obviously, the social media thing doesn't help it at all. Obviously, because social media makes it seem like everything's perfect, but it isn't. But we came close. Basically, we came close to going farther than we were supposed to. We were supposed to go more farther than this. We were close to getting to that level, but it didn't work because I started. It looks like he's trying to say right here, until I put all of our pain under the microscope, until we started opening up more and more about certain things. I still can't face it. I'm still in love for what it's worth. Maybe hating you is the only way it doesn't hurt. So basically, this part 2 is good because he's saying too as well that I'm still in love. A lot of times when a breakup happens as well, a lot of times people still are in love with that other person, still in that certain stage still, especially when that breakup has happened. Because don't forget, so many times those two people have been in that current state for such a long time that it's not going to be that easy to just automatically, like Thanos, snap your fingers and it's out of there, because it's just hard to be like, hey, it's over, that's it, we're done, we can't be, I can't think about her anymore, it's over. It's gonna take some time. You're gonna have to heal, do certain things to get over that person, obviously, eventually. And then obviously eventually, if it's one of those moments, one of those heartbreaks that are terrible and horrific, obviously you obviously heal, but you forgive them as well. But yeah, he's obviously saying, obviously he's still in love for what it's worth, but obviously the only way for him to get over it, obviously this doesn't seem like the healthiest way, but the only way for him to get over it is to say that he's gonna hate her, and that's what he's gonna have in his mind. I'm gonna just paint you as that villain that you never were. That's the only way I can move on and just get over you, alright? That's not the healthiest way, but I see what Jung Kook did here. This is what a lot of people probably could relate to this, because they've been through that, and a lot of them when they break up, they think this initially. Let me just think this way. The hate is the best way, right? I see what he did there. I see why he did this, because this is this is obviously going to be a relatable track right here, to be honest with you. Now, obviously, the outro is just, it's not the truth, it's not the cure, but hating you is the only way it doesn't hurt. So that's the track, to be honest with you. And I felt like that's the best track, lyrically speaking. Especially with that lyric of, I'm gonna paint you as the villain that you never were. That lyric alone hit deeper as well. But I bet this track definitely related to a lot of people, especially when they were hearing this track. I bet there's a bunch of tracks in here that people related to, but this track alone as well is one of the most relatable tracks, I bet, for a lot of people. Like I said, if you could do that, you're gonna get ears, and people are going to stop and listen because they've been through it and they have seen it in live and direct, right? So that's definitely one of the best tracks right there. Let's read some of the facts though. It said the title of the song "Hate You" could be a metaphor for how Jung Kook feels about someone who made him go through a painful experience. In the lyrics, Jung Kook sings about how he wants to forget this person and not remember their memories. But he also expresses feelings of anger, frustration, and heartbreak that he can't seem to shake. The song shows the complicated, difficult emotions that Jung Kook is feeling, despite his desire to move on from past and live in the present. So yeah, okay, this wasn't facts. I guess they were just describing the track. But yeah, you could tell. Obviously, a lot of people too, though, I don't think it's literal a lot of times, especially when they're going through that stage, especially right afterwards. It's just something you probably just, in the heat of the moment, you're thinking that too as well. But I'm not going to say that about everybody. Probably not everybody's like that. But a lot of times in that initial reaction right away, you're in the heat of the moment and you're thinking things that you didn't think before. You're talking from the frustrated aspect, the anger, the heartbreak aspect, right? And he's talking from that perspective. But I like this track because, hey, you never even know if Jung Kook even went through this. A lot of times artists, right, they write these tracks and, how would you say it? They write these tracks and it's written from a different perspective. It's not from their perspective. It could be from a different person or whatever. So I like that aspect of it, let alone. And that's why it makes it interesting. A lot of times with these tracks that are relatable, you never know, is it really from the artist's perspective? It could be from them or from another person that they just picked up. They just started talking. Oh wait, for real? That's how you felt? Let me try to jot this down. Let me put this on the track. Who wrote it? I actually wanted to check who wrote it, actually. Let's see, bro. Okay, you see, I knew it was somebody that I knew. Obviously, I already knew this already, but I forgot initially. I already forgot who wrote this. But they're saying that Shawn Mendes had a hand in the pot when it came to writing this track. It sounds a bit like Shawn Mendes. I ain't gonna lie, it sound like Shawn Mendes right here. A lot of artists were on this album, obviously, that were writing with Jung Kook, and shout out to them because they made the album even more incredible, obviously. Obviously, Jung Kook was part of that writing process, but I like the fact that he was not afraid to get other pop singers, R&B singers that write normally for their tracks, and he just got them there to help him out with the tracks and all that. So I like that aspect as well. But let's rewind that back and let's listen to that track one more time, man. That's a good track right there. But yeah, this is not a track you're gonna put on when you're having a good time, for sure not. It's when you're going through that experience, you're gonna put this on.
I wish you hadn't by my bed, told me lies and stuff like that. I wish you kissed someone I know and didn't give up more. Maybe hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. So I'm gonna hate you, I'm gonna hate you. Pay you like the villain that you never were. I'm gonna blame you for things that you don't do. Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. We weren't perfect, but we came close. Until I put our pain under the microscope. And I stare your face and I'm still in love with what it's worth. Maybe hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt. So I'm gonna hate you, I'm gonna hate you. Girl, like the villain that you never were. I'm gonna blame you for things that you don't do. Hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt.
Oh, this part go hard. Yeah. That man Jung Kook can sing to me. Such a good track.
It's not the truth, it's not the cure. But hating you's the only way it doesn't hurt.
Well, yeah, you could tell right even at the end right there, he said it's not the truth, it's not the cure, obviously. Obviously, even he says it there. It's not the route to go, but this is just the route that I will go for now. This is the right, this is not the right, but this is the path I'm gonna go for now. Later on, I'm gonna go for the path of like healing in that stage and stuff like that. But during that moment, you're not thinking about that. Most of some people, I wouldn't say everybody, but some people are thinking that like that's not the route I'm gonna go for the healing stage. I'm just gonna say, look, I'm just gonna blame you for everything that happened. And obviously, hey, everybody goes through that. Eventually, everybody does, I guess, if you can say that. But those are tough times. But hey, you just gotta heal, love yourself, and eventually, hey, everything's gonna be all fine and okay, to be honest. It's just gonna take some time, obviously. But that track was such a good track from the album. So much substance to it because he's saying a lot in this track that a lot of people have said, most likely in their own life. A lot of these tracks that are relatable and that say things, people have said them before, but nobody has stopped before to write them down. I'm talking about in terms of like ordinary people, but the singers and the artists, they say, well, let's just take whatever these people have talked about in the normal life and let's just jot it down and put it in this track and these tracks, and then people are going to gravitate towards them, listen to them back and back and back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And hey, it's gonna get some playing time. And it works, to be honest with you. So I'm glad he added this track into the album. Obviously, like he said, the album is such a great album because obviously the beginning stages of it is basically all being in that in love phase. And then he said, yeah, the beginning part of it is the being in love stage, and then the bottom part is the falling out of love. I like that dichotomy and that oxymoron aspect of the album because that's just the truth of it. A lot of times you're not going to be in that honeymoon phase for a long time. That's just not going to happen. Obviously, it's such a good feeling in the beginning, but eventually that feeling's not always going to be there because there's going to be those tough times, and those tough times are going to happen because life is not perfect and people are not perfect at the end of the day. Wow, I'm stumbling over my words. But yeah, that's just how it is. So I love that aspect and why he broke that down on Jimmy Fallon's show, and I'm glad he did because that part I did not know why he wrote it in that aspect. So it made it even much better that he explained it that way because it added more to the album, to be honest with you. So shout out to Jung Kook, to be honest with you. Obviously, I know that he's serving his time in the military. Obviously, right now, the whole the BTS members are all serving their time, and hopefully they come safe and sound. Wishing them the best, and hopefully they come back in 2025. We will definitely be waiting for them with hugs, all that. Just wishing them all the best, to be honest with you. But that was the track "Hate You," Jung Kook. It will be linked in the description and in the comments. Make sure y'all check that out for yourselves. Enjoy the track, obviously. Check it out. Tell me in the comments what y'all thought about it as well. But Also, yeah, just go and check it out and appreciate the artist, because I could tell Jung Kook put the hard work in this track as well. This is another good track that you could tell the brother put the hard work in. The lyrics are there, heavy lyrics, because that's a heavy song. That's a heavy song, so it's a heavy song, and he put the work in. Just make sure y'all check it out and appreciate the artist and listen to it for yourselves as well. But that was it. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment down below in the comments down below what other tracks y'all would want me to react to and to listen to next. Also, make sure you hit that bell notification so when my video gets sent out, you'll be the first one to be notified. I'ma see you when we see you.